I know.
Well, like 24 years. Well, I'll miss it, of course. Of course.
You'll miss you. That's why you see that here. First, that video, it's fun to do.
We will find it. Interesting in the beginning stages.
Okay.
Exactly. That was when you're still around.
Yeah.
Good catch.
I'm gonna kind of stand right here because I am gonna click you through just a couple slides while you're talking. And in just a minute, I'm gonna click you through a slide of remember things, and then I'm gonna exit.
Okay.
You can
None.
go ahead. You can start it.
Okay. Good morning. Give you just a second. I know everyone is here all energetic and talking and enjoying each other's company. And so that is so exciting here in Botetourt that we've got this many people here for the state of the county. Plus, I know that we've got some people that are listening and watching on streaming. And I had a comment last night that they could not watch the streaming. They could not be here live. However, they wanted to watch the YouTube and they wanted me to dance. Okay. So there you go. Okay. So the person who asked for that, you got it. Okay. So everyone else had to suffer, but that's okay. Right. God bless each one of you for being here, especially with the liquid sunshine outside. How about that? If we could go back a couple days to the weather, how many would want that? Huh? Yeah, hey, 70 degrees and beautiful day. You know, we're getting closer and closer to the spring, and it's going to all work out, right? It always does. So welcome to the state of the county for Botetourt County. Most of you know me. There may be a few who do not. My name is Gary LaRue. I'm the county administrator, and I've had the privilege of being here, the absolute God-given privilege of being here as county administrator. Just hit 9 years in January. And so thank you for that opportunity. For the folks here in the audience, and there was a sign that said applaud, I think. But anyway, so thank you for that. No, seriously, it has been a pleasure. It has been the fastest 9 years of my life. There has been so many things that have taken place and so many positive connections that have been made, and it has just been wonderful. It is truly an honor to welcome each one of you here to the State of the County Address. And a good friend of mine, and a good friend to many of you, is Mr. John Alderson. If you know John, he calls Botetourt the jewel of the Commonwealth. And to be honest, I do too, Steve. It is absolutely an amazing place. I was in a conversation earlier this week where they ended up, the people were here talking with us about a particular topic. And they said, you know, Botetourt has a reputation of being one of the best counties in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that was unsolicited. They had no reason to even say that. They were not trying to sell something. They were not trying to provide a service, but they actually said that. And that was really, really comforting. But you know what? I hear stuff like that whenever I'm out in the community, whenever I'm outside of the community and in other parts of the state. And it's very, very important for us to recognize sometimes is that this is a special place and it's absolutely wonderful. Now, what I would like to do is to recognize a few, and I'm only going to do a few. I'm just going to keep it to elected or appointed officials that we have here with us today. And we certainly do appreciate them being here because it's the guidance that they give, it's the leadership that they provide, and it is the commitment and the volunteerism that actually makes this place so absolutely special in helping to direct the future, the present, and to reflect upon the past. You know, we're here on the shoulders of others in everything that we end up doing. So I would never want to take away from everything that has happened in the past before Gary, before this board, before whatever, is to recognize all of those people that have been participating positively for this community. And also for today, I would like to recognize the elected and dignitaries that are here, and would ask that that you at least raise your hand, and we can hold the applause to the end, but there needs to be an applause, okay? And so those that are here with us today, obviously, Mr. Steve Clinton. Steve was the chair this past year, and we will be hearing from him in just a few minutes. We have Amy White, who is the chair currently, just was elected, and she's in the deep end of the pool as far as that goes. But she is a worker like I've never seen. She's incredibly, incredible. We also have Brandon Nicely with us. Brandon is a board member and just completed his first year of service and has done a fabulous job. And Gail, you need to know that, okay? He says he's going to meetings. I'm sure he tells you he's going to meetings, and in fact, he's actually going to the meetings, okay? So if I don't know, he maybe squander off somewhere else every once in a while, but he has really been a support system for this community, and we love him for that. So we've got two members that are not here. I'm going to just mention their names. Walt Michael, he's got another commitment this morning. And then we have Dr. Max Scotthorn. Now, I don't think anyone in here may know this, okay? But Dr. Scotthorn, he's been serving for many years, but his birthday was yesterday, and he was given a present. And his present was Oakland Grace. She was born yesterday, 6 pounds, 4 ounces at 6:55 yesterday afternoon. So he is a brand new grandfather, and he's with her today. And on his birthday, how could you get a better present? So we also have some folks from the school board. Anna Weddle. Anna is serves with the school board and has for many years. And while sitting there, might as well recognize her sister, Beth Leffel, who is the chair of the Planning Commission, and we certainly do appreciate Beth being here as well. We also have Matt East. Matt serves from the Blue Ridge area, and so that's very important to the efforts of this community in educating our youth. So we're very, very happy that they are all here. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. If there is anyone that's elected, oh, okay. I was getting a point, but it'll all come out, I think. So we're very, very happy that each one of you were here, and there's a lot of people behind each one of you that help support this locality, the jewel of the Commonwealth. Thanks. So 24 was a year of growth, resilience, and focused on community. We expanded broadband access. That's been a passion. That's been something that we've been working on since 2017. whenever I first got here, and Dr. Scott Horn and Amy and Steve and the whole gang, Brandon and everyone has been working on that. Dr. Scott Horn, whenever two or more are gathered together, would talk about broadband there for years. And we have gotten very, very close to universal service, and we're even getting closer. And the hope of the future would end up being is that every residence, every business and industry and everything would actually have fiber at their front door. So that is something that is a passion of many, and a special dedication to Ken McFadden, who has really been the operational person on that and made a lot of this stuff happen. We launched the Destination Botetourt Small Business Summit. BoCo Small Business Grant Program was the first year that we had that this year. And you'll hear more and more about this kind of stuff, but we made our local businesses, helping them to flourish through that program. Our fire and EMS team went out and volunteered. Paid staff raised their hand and said, yes, I will go. We had a team that went to North Carolina to help in the Asheville area, and the team assignment was not very pleasant. They were assigned with a cadaver dog team to help support them. Very, very difficult thing to do. Comes from my heart because I see these people, and the dedication that they have to this community is immense, okay? Also, we had a team that went to Damascus and helped them in the process. So I want to just recognize that whole effort. Excuse my emotions. Please excuse my emotions. However, when you work day in and day out with these people, and you see the capacity, the interest, the enthusiasm from the seat that I'm sitting in, it is absolutely astronomical. And we'll talk about staff in the future here just a little bit, other staff, but it is a marvelous team. So we launched the What's Going On in BoCo to keep residents informed about the key projects and commitment to strong financial stewardship, remain steadfast. We had the GFOA award for the 18th consecutive year, and that's associated with financial record keeping and making sure that we're doing things correctly associated with industry standards and with what is necessary legally associated with finances. And I know I hear every once in a while, we need to have an audit. Well, guess what? We have one every year, and we've been superb in those audits for the past 18 years, and probably even before that. I think that the standard actually came in 18 years ago, and we were at the top of the pile. So it's something that we're very proud of. However, beyond policies and projects that truly make Botetourt a special place, there is a love in our community. Love in our community. A love of our people, of the dedication to the future, and the hope that we have for the future is immense. Absolutely immense for the future of this community and of what we're doing. That's why this year's theme of State of the County is actually Fall in Love with BoCo. I think everyone here has already done that. You've already fallen in love, or you wouldn't be here. There's probably a few of you that got assigned to be here. Hey, we need somebody over there, go do that. I hope by the end of this morning, if that were the case, is that you will have fallen in love with BoCo. It is an amazing place. Throughout this morning, you will hear from leaders who have indeed fallen in love with BoCo, and in many ways, through their planning, support, and our business community, embracing our parks and recreation, celebrating our rich history of championing education, and our outstanding public schools, thank you, Dr. Russ, for that and the school board, and welcoming visitors who discover just how easy it is to fall in love with Botetourt. I was at a meeting day before yesterday, I guess, where they were talking about the tourism aspect and bringing people into the community and how people fall in love with this part of the region. You will hear more about that later in the session. It's amazing that people are finding us. And speaking of leadership and dedication, I'm in the presence of the Master. I can think of no one better to begin this morning than the man who has given 21 years, over 21 years of service to Botetourt County, helping to lead, shape, guide, direct, just an incredible opportunity to work with Steve and for him to call Botetourt home. Let us take a minute and think about that. Let it sink in. 21 years of dedicated community service. Where were you 21 years ago? What were you doing? What were you thinking about? You may or may have not been thinking about community service or about leadership of the county. However, Steve was, and we certainly do appreciate him for that. He started his elected service on January the 1st of 2000, and which there's a little gap in there of when he was not elected. However, he continued to serve, even in that capacity. And he has served as chair for 6 years and just concluded his service as chair on January the 28th for the past year. Steve served on the board continuously from 2000 through 2012, and then again from 2016 to 2025. However, he has continued to serve because he fell in love with Botetourt years ago. Steve is a professional engineer, of which we use his skill set all the time, and such an intellect, and we are very, very happy to have him in our presence. Previously working as an executive vice president, chief operating officer of Hayes, C., Mattern and Matter, and as the senior vice president and regional director of the architect and engineering and planning group of AECOM. He's retired lieutenant colonel from the United States Air Force, where he served his country for 25 years. So there's an additional service of 25 years. Steve holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the Citadel. No small or unrecognized location, being the Citadel. A master's degree in business from finance from Radford University, and then a master's degree in civil engineering from the University of Virginia. Steve is very active in preserving Botetourt's rich history and is currently engaged with historic greenfield preservation and other preservation activities and historical activities in the county. It is my great honor to introduce Mr. Steve Clinton, a member of the Botetourt Board of Supervisors and our chair in 2024. Steve, thank you for your unwavering commitment and leadership, and also thank you for being a friend. Please stand with me and let's give Steve a round of applause. God bless you. I'll try to get my stuff together, okay?
Thank you, Gary, for that wonderfully generous introduction. Appreciate it. So how do you build a county that people fall in love with? How do you do that? Well, it helps to have mountains and valleys and rivers and streams and historical heritage, and of course, you have to have great people, great residents. And you have to have enthusiasm. But you still need someone to kindle the flames and fan the flames of that enthusiasm. And we happen to have that person in Botetourt County, and it's a man who was just up here, Gary LaRue. I'll tell you, folks, you can search high and low, you can search near and far, and you're just not going to find a county administrator or city manager or anybody in a similar position. You're not going to find a person that even comes close to equaling Gary LaRue in terms of enthusiasm, knowledge, commitment, leadership, you name it. We are so fortunate to have Gary for the past 9 years. Thank you for all that you do and for your enthusiasm, Gary. And then you take Gary and you add the Deputy County Administrator, David Mormon, with his institutional knowledge and his leadership skills and his ability to articulate an issue. You add those two together and you've got the genuine article. You've got as good as it's going to get in running a county. Gary mentioned the board working, and of course the board works closely with David and Gary and the other members of the administration. I won't go through introducing them again because Gary did, but I'll just say that the individual supervisors and the collective board is remarkably dedicated and hardworking and just fun to work with. It's a good group. So the Board of Supervisors, I tend to think that the single most important duty of the Board of Supervisors is to create and sustain an environment that attracts and retains outstanding employees. I think that's the most important thing we do. And indications are that we've done a good job of it. Because this morning you're going to hear many, many accomplishments and achievements of the county, and they all begin and end with the employees. The employees have the innovation skills and the energy to make these things happen. So thank you to each and every one of our employees for all that you do to help to make Botetourt a place that you're going to fall in love with. Here's another important duty of the administration, and that is to maintain an effective and regular system of communication with BoCo citizens. If you happen to look at the Washington Post, you know that below the masthead on the front page is an expression that goes this way: democracy dies in darkness. I've always kind of liked that, and I think it's absolutely true. And the board responds to that reality. We do it by shining the light on county operations and cultivating communications. And that's what makes the programs that you're going to hear about this morning so important and so remarkable. Gary mentioned some of the programs, what's going on in BoCo, getting to know BoCo, and so on. Here are a few other innovative programs that help to shine a light on government operations. The board has instituted 2 periods on the agenda of the monthly meetings dedicated to citizen comments. We live stream each Board of Supervisors meeting. We encourage public participation in internal and important meetings of the board, such as development of the annual budget. Gary mentioned continued expansion of broadband. We have a robust public program, I should say plural, robust public programs with an S at our public libraries. So these are all things, these are transparency programs, they're sharing programs. And you know, they may not be things that cause people to fall in love with Botetourt County, but they break down barriers and they open lines of communication. And they go a long way towards engendering trust and avoiding misunderstanding. And we in BoCo, the Board of Supervisors and the administration will continue to pursue programs like this, programs that shine a light on operations. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I thank you for your attention. I'll close with the obvious question. What is the state of Botetourt County? What's the state of the county? And I'll say it's very good. And you'll say, what? Why isn't it excellent? Why isn't it outstanding? And it's simply because we have a belief and a program, or a belief and a tendency towards continuous improvement. So, you know, that kind of means that you never really reach excellence. You strive for excellence. And in our case, when we get close to it, Gary moves the goalposts. And that's a way to continue. That's a way to engender continuous improvement. So we're in a very good state right now. As you're about to see, we have an exciting and eventful year coming up. And I invite you and encourage you to come back this time next year and witness how we will still be in a very good state, but that very good definition will have elevated. We'll be even better next year than we are this year. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here. It's a great group. I'll turn the program wherever, there you are. I'll turn the program over to our wonderful Director of Communications. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Everyone that knows me knows I'm not super shy, but I'm going to keep my comments super short because it is a great day to be here in Botetourt County. And as Steve mentioned, I'm Tiffany Bradbury. I'm your Director of Communications, and I've had the privilege of serving as the county's first Director of Communications. So, you know, we're a tiny team. I have my cohort, Jessica Hauer. She put all this beautiful presentation together. She did all of the annual report, and we are anxiously awaiting her first baby. She was due on Saturday. We were hoping maybe she could have been like Mac's, you know, family and had a baby yesterday, but we are crossing our fingers. Maybe baby comes today. So I'm just super thankful for her. And I'm super thankful that I get to do the communications for the county that I also call home. I've lived here for 23 years, raised my kids here. I still have one little freshman over with Dr. Russ and his team. And, you know, Matt East, he always keeps me straight because we're neighbors and friends. So it's really a cool place to like live, work, play, and give back. Love. A lot of people are like, you know, what is love? We love a lot of things. And if you look up the definition, it's a deep affection, a commitment to care for something. And that's exactly how we all feel about Botetourt. And that's why we landed on this year's theme, fall in love with Botetourt. So we had a real cool little dedication back in October. It was actually on my anniversary. So I told my husband he still had to get me a gift, even though he got to come to this ribbon cutting. But we actually had everything started with the love sign. And this is over at Greenfield, over at the sports complex. So this project was years in the making, and it was a big lift from Ken McFadden and from Luke Campbell in our economic development department, as well as I see Heather Fay up there. So thanks to dedicated citizens and employees like them and like Ann Lehman, she was a champion of this, and then partners like Katie Connor at the Virginia Tourism Corporation, and students like Cameron Ferguson, one of Mr. Ketron's folks over at Botetourt Technical Education Center, along with Billy at the Sign Factory. I apologize, Billy's last name, I just know him as Billy. So Billy's the one that came out and he wrapped it. And we know right now we've got to go out and do a few touch-ups, and he is like Johnny on the spot. He's going to be out there doing that. But this vision became a reality on October 21st. So we're inviting people to stop there. We know we have a lot of folks, and Victor's going to talk a little bit about the sports complex in a little bit. We have a lot of visitors that come through, as well as Deborah and Cheryl are going to talk about tourism, and we want to showcase the love that's there. So from there, we also wanted to get our students. There's a little picture of everybody. It was a beautiful sunny day, not like we're having today, right? With all those fall colors in the background. So we also want to take this to a next level. And again, Jess, who's not able to be here today because, again, we're anxiously expecting a baby. Anytime she says she feels like a zoo animal, everybody's watching her. But we decided this was her idea as well. So she wanted to do an art contest. And a lot of times we do art contests with our elementary kiddos, but not so much with our middle and high schoolers. So we were able to work, and we worked with Mr. Moser. There he is right there. And we were able to work with the art specialists, and we wanted them to really have a little bit of a civics lesson. So you're going to see these stamps. These are all drawings and paintings and illustrations that our kids in Botetourt County Public Schools did. And they are also featured in the annual reports that are seated right there. And we've got winners. We had, I think, 16 winners. We're gonna, do it big. They're gonna get prizes, because I know I've got to give students prizes if I want them to participate. I know that, not my first rodeo, but we were just very excited for them to design stamps representing local government. And we just felt like this was a good way for them to get to know BoCo, kind of leaning into that theme, and then also have a little bit of a civics lesson. So it was really cool. So we're hopeful that we're trying to work out logistics to bring them to one of our Board of Supervisors meetings. And then, of course, we'll want to make sure that we recognize them at the school board meetings too, because we're just really proud of the students in our community. So thank you to everybody at Botetourt County Public Schools for letting us collaborate in that way. And because I never do anything halfway, anybody that knows me, I'm a little extra. We wanted to take the love theme even further with music. So we partnered with the incredibly talented David Austin and the Parkway Players. David and Keith are up on the top row. I'm going to embarrass them. Okay, and they created a song that captures what makes Botetourt so special. So now I'm thrilled to debut and share with you Love Is All Around in Botetourt County. There's my little Parkway Players. They even braved it out for a music video shoot in the snow. So here we go. Let's see if this all works well.
Love is all around in Botetourt County, in Botetourt County. You're greeted with a smile. Love is all around in Botetourt County. Botetourt County, drop in and stay a while. Neighbor helping neighbor, friend helping friend, blessing one another time and time again. What a place to live, oh, what a place to be. There's never been a shortage of hospitality. Love is all around in Botetourt County, in Botetourt County. You're greeted with a smile. Love is all around in Botetourt County. Botetourt County, drop in and stay a while. Every season brings a beauty of its own. Every town offers the charm of home. There's so much to visit, enjoy, and do, with the Parkway looking over and the James running through. Love is all around in Botetourt County, in Botetourt County. You're greeted with a smile. Love is all around in Botetourt County. Botetourt County, drop in and stay a while. All around in Botetourt County, in Botetourt County, you're greeted with a smile. Love is all around in Botetourt County. Botetourt County, drop in and stay a while. Love is all around in Botetourt County, in Botetourt County, greeted with a smile. Love is all around in Botetourt County. Botetourt County, drop in and stay a while. Is all around. Love is all around. It's all around.
Cool. Like I can't I came to David with this like kooky idea of some lyrics that were not good because this girl is not a songwriter. And Tracy Clark, our registrar, actually put me in touch with David, and he just took it next level. So we have plans to make different versions of that to highlight the different communities in our county. You know, have one that's Buchanan centric, one that's Eagle Rock, one that's Blue Ridge. We really want to showcase that. I already said yesterday, I told our school friends, I want some like cheerleaders and football players. And so I think this is just a really great like banner for us to carry forward into the new year, because there's so much negative in the world, and we just want to remember all the great. We only get one round, folks, right? We only get one round in this crazy thing we call life, not to quote Prince. But so I'm super thankful for the Parkway players. I learned what the difference was between a fiddle and a violin that day. And then all those musicians live right here in Botetourt County. And our good friend Taylor Reshka of Tailored Images and our friends at Star City Sky Cams also helped us be able to get some of that video. So that is actually we have a web page for it that you guys can go to our website and see it. And then the video is also up on our YouTube page. So feel free to stream it. And again, we're just super grateful to you and your team, David. Thank you guys. They were so much fun. They had their rival James River and LB hats on, and it was real funny to watch them spar back and forth. So I now have the distinct pleasure to welcome my colleague, Ken McFadden, who's one of my favorite humans on the planet. He's our Director of Economic Development, and he teaches me things daily because, again, like I do a lot of this for a living, so he teaches me that. So Ken, you can take it up and away, and all you have to do is hit the space bar, and we're going to hope our technology continues to work.
Thank you, Tiffany. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. That was a wonderful rendition of music, and that's very exciting. And thank you for Tiffany with that creativity, and for the folks here to have produced that. That's just absolutely wonderful. With economic development, among the many things that we work on and projects here in Botetourt County, we wanted to bring two particularly to your attention this morning. And when it comes to economic development, I like to define it as a community leveraging its assets for greater prosperity. This community is already prosperous, but we can do things to improve our prosperity, to create more jobs and more livelihoods for our citizens. Because for me personally, that's what it's about. It's about helping people to have wages and salaries and jobs that allow them to provide for their families. And ultimately, for me personally, that's what it's all about. So among the things that we work on is broadband and small business development. And with broadband, this has been a long journey. And by no means would we be able to cover everything on this slide this morning. But the point of this is to show all of the milestones that have gone into deploying broadband throughout the county since 2016. We completed a broadband assessment, a demand strategy in 2017, I believe. And we've worked actively with each of our 6 internet service providers to deliver improved and enhanced broadband connectivity to each of our approximately 15,000 residences in the county. And we're talking about fiber. Many of us at our homes have had access to copper or to other types of infrastructure, but we're talking about fiber, which is the highest grade communication technology and infrastructure that a community can have. And so this has been an active pursuit of ours for the last several years. And but then at the same time, we still have more work to do. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So with broadband, the primary tool that we have used here in Botetourt County is the Virginia Telecommunications Initiative Program that is managed by the Commonwealth of Virginia and by the Department of Housing and Community Development. It is a competitive grant-making program. There is never any guarantee that we receive a grant from the Virginia Telecommunications Initiative, but we have been successful in securing 4 VATI, we call it VATI, V-A-T-I, VATI grants in the last several years. And we've worked with Craig Botetourt Electric Co-op, with Lumos, and most recently with Comcast on these various projects. And so far we've secured funding through the Commonwealth to deliver connectivity to approximately 3,100 addresses. Keep in mind, there are roughly 15,000 addresses in the county. So Botetourt County directly has helped to serve approximately 1/5 of those addresses. Grant awards and county dollars and internet service provider investments have totaled for these 4 projects to serve the 3,100 addresses has totaled approximately $13 million. And on the county side of that, that is a very low figure in terms of how we have leveraged the program against state dollars and with internet service provider private dollars, very low. I think Gary has had the talking point that it's roughly $200? 12, it's gone down. Yep, $12 per household has been the proportionate leverage of county dollars to the state and private dollars to deliver broadband connectivity. So as we've increased projects and secured more funding, the amount of county dollars has decreased. One provider made an additional investment in Botetourt County of approximately $24 million to serve roughly 9,000 additional homes with fiber. Now, again, many of these homes have had access to copper and other types of infrastructure, but we're talking about fiber, which is the highest grade telecommunications infrastructure that we can deliver. So a lot of work has gone into this. And so as you look at those numbers, approximately 12,000 addresses have been served with fiber connectivity of approximately 15,000. And so now we're talking about real concentration and density of service. But this does not mean that we're finished. We are approximately 93% complete in delivering broadband connectivity with fiber to our 15,000 addresses in Botetourt County. We still have pockets north of Buchanan and Arcadia. We have pockets at Carvin's Cove and in Blue Ridge. We're in the process now of addressing these final gaps in coverage. And we do communicate with the residents in these areas on a regular basis. They do communicate with us to let us know that they still haven't received fiber, and we always communicate that we are still actively working to do it. It's a long process of working with state funding sources, with engineering and design, with right-of-way acquisition, with construction, with turn-up and activation of service. It can't happen overnight, unfortunately. So we do actively still work with our residents who have not received it yet, and we want them to know that we are still actively and aggressively pursuing it. North of Arcadia, north of Buchanan and Arcadia, we're also working with Dominion Power that has built a middle mile network with an investment of approximately $20 million to serve over 600 addresses north of Buchanan in the Arcadia area. And that project is still very much going down the path. And the Commonwealth has a new funding program called BEAD, Broadband Equity and Access and Deployment, which is federal funding. And we're in the process now of supporting an internet service provider to pursue that BEAD funding to fill these pockets in the county. So if you are one of those residents in the approximately 1,000 households that doesn't have broadband connectivity, please stay with us, keep in touch with us, and we promise that we're doing absolutely everything we can to deliver the service to you. The other item that we want to talk about are small business grants, and I noticed that we've got at least one of our small business grant recipients here with us today. During the pandemic in 2020, like many localities, we deployed our federal dollars to assist our small businesses that were forced to close as a result of the pandemic or suffered financial losses at no cause of their own as a result of the pandemic. And at that time, we worked with well over 100 businesses, and we awarded grants to approximately 80 here in Botetourt County, and that was in 2020 during the pandemic. We developed that concept, that program, and we have relaunched it with the Right Here in Botetourt County Small Business Grant Program. And we're very thankful for the relationships that we have with the Small Business Development Center, with the Advancement Foundation, and others to support our small businesses. And we also have a Open for Business brochure that we've used as our talking prop for the last several years since 2018 to help our businesses understand all the elements that go into small business development and planning to help them to succeed in operating and sustaining their businesses. But with the grant program that we recently launched last year, we awarded 16 businesses with small business grants totaling $35,000. And I'd like to read the names of the businesses. And if you're representing one of those businesses today, we would ask that you stand. Saddles and Stuff, Mountain Time Honey and Gifts, Dark Moon Cards and Games, Beyond the Peaks Event Planning, Children's Nest Learning Center, Buchanan Butchery, Twin River Outfitters, Jeter Farm, Watts Heavy Duty Repair, Micro Harmonics, Bryant Orchards Farm Market, Williamson Farms, Heritage Family Market, Willow Spring Apothecary, Grandpa Ike's Donuts, and BoCo Fit Rage. Those were our 16 grant recipients, so we'd like to give them a round of applause for the effort and work that it took to apply for a grant. No grant was a given, and businesses needed to show a growth strategy, a way to use those grant funds to grow their businesses. It was not just money intended to pay the bills and keep the lights on. It was intended to keep the businesses growing and sustaining, and each of the applicants, of the 39 applicants, did just that. But our funding was limited to a point where we needed to identify 16 to make meaningful grant awards. And we're very much looking forward to continuing the program in the next year, in 2025. And Luke Campbell is standing in the back. He has taken on the program and has owned it. He's worked directly with our businesses, all 39 applicants, and currently with our 16 awardees to process their grant contracts, and very much appreciate Luke's leadership and professionalism in doing that. And Luke and Kim Stewart in the Department of Economic Development, one could argue that they're actually the brains behind the operation. And so they do a very good job in managing the department, keeping me straight, and delivering greater services to the community on behalf of the county administrator and the board of supervisors. And I would also like to thank the Economic Development Authority. They meet monthly, and they have a lot of responsibilities that they carry out, and they do so in a very professional manner. And I would like to just extend a note of appreciation to them as well. Another program that we're going to talk with you about is remote work. So as we've deployed broadband throughout the community, we recognized, well, what are people using the broadband for? We know that there's an education element with Botetourt County Public Schools. We know that people use it for commerce, for shopping, for online shopping. And we know that people use it for streaming and for entertainment. But then we also have recognized that in Botetourt County, there's approximately 2,500 individuals who are self-employed in Botetourt County. They are contractors, they are realtors, they are professionals, scientists, consultants of every variety, and they work from home. And to work from home successfully, they have needed that broadband connectivity, which has been a major thrust for us, as we know. But then at the same time, we wanted to identify and seek ways to support those in the community that work remotely, not only for themselves as self-employed folks, but also those who work on behalf of companies all around the world. And anecdotally, as we've learned more about remote work here in Botetourt County, we've learned some fascinating stories of the people who live here. And one gentleman I met several years ago is the engineer for the Port of Los Angeles, and he lives right here in Botetourt County. He helps the Port of Los Angeles on the West Coast do their planning on how to operate that port, and he does it from right here. So that's just one example of the many fascinating stories of the remote work that people are doing here in the community. So we took a more active interest in remote work in the last couple of years and initiated a study to assess who are our remote workers. We held focus groups, and we wanted to learn more about what is important to them in terms of being a remote worker in Botetourt County. And we've learned that many folks have moved here for the reasons why we're here, for the things that we love about this community, our natural amenities, our community sense of community, our social organizations, our schools, all of the things that are obvious to us as to why we enjoy and love living in Botetourt County. And we've attracted people who are doing that. And I know that our realtors meet with these folks on a regular basis as well, so they could speak very well to this. But as we've met with our remote workers and have asked them what's important to them, they identified three things for us. Broadband, of course, childcare, which is another economic development initiative that Luke has managed and led, and a sense of place. And I think when we talk about what we love about Botetourt County, it is that sense of place. It is that sense of community. And so working with Saving Rural America, which is a national consultancy in South Carolina, We did some focus groups and we did some more careful assessment and study also with the Roanoke Regional Partnership about our remote workers. And that led to these conclusions as to what's important for our remote workers here in the community. And then as well, the findings and work that Tiffany and others led with the remote work strategy resulted in a presentation at the Richmond Federal Reserve's conference last year in Roanoke. And so it's been at least recognized in North and South Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland through the Richmond Fed, and also nationally through Saving Rural America in terms of the emphasis and importance that we've placed on remote workers. So this is one additional component of economic development that we strive to deliver to the community. And with that, thank you and very much appreciate everything that Tiffany has done to coordinate this morning's State of the County.
I know we've got a weird glitchy thing on the screen, so I'm going to try to fix that. But I have the distinct pleasure now of introducing Nicole Pendleton. She's our Director of Community Development. Again, she's way smarter than me. She knows a lot of stuff and she's a good human. And she lives right here in Botetourt County, raising her family. She's a coach. I mean, she's coaching boys. You were at what, rec night last night with boys, 10-year-old boys basketball. Bless. That's all I have to say. My kids are past that point. So it is my, again, pleasure to introduce Nicole Pendleton. Okay, so hopefully that's going to help our glitch.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Good morning. Well, Tiffany had quite the introduction for me. So if you did see me running across the court last night at LB, that court's a little longer than I remember it being. So yeah, I'm definitely honored to be here with you all today. So as Tiffany mentioned, I've worked here for 10 years. I've been a resident of Botetourt County for 15. I have the pleasure today of discussing falling in love with the future of Botetourt. And I know there's a lot of familiar faces in the audience. It's so good to see you. There are some that I don't know. You might think that this is quite the departure from my day job, and some days it is. But those of you who know me know I do not shy away from an opportunity to celebrate what I believe is one of the most important jobs around, and that's planning, balancing growth and preservation for a Botetourt that our future citizens will fall in love with. I'm going to put you all to work a few times today. I heard on a podcast lately that we overthink and underfeel. We really don't take the time to sit with our feelings because we're so busy. So I want you to stop. I want you to close your eyes for just a minute and ask yourself, what made you fall in love with Botetourt? For me, it was the people, the way the neighbors, parents, friends, colleagues, my community development team, the way everyone supports each other, the sense of belonging, and what we're here to celebrate today, the very strong pride in our community. As our population continues to grow, our challenge is to ensure that Botetourt remains a place that people love to live, work, and play. Botetourt is on a path of continued growth, but growth isn't just about the numbers. Each one of the 30-some-odd thousand people who call this place home today, now, and in the future want and deserve a Botetourt County that keeps our quality of life high, creates opportunities, and preserves the charm that makes this county special. Planning for the future is not just about a vision, it's about action. And we see that action in the rising number of permits, site plans, and projects that are actively shaping our community. Every permit issued represents someone's investment into our future. A business owner launching a dream, a family putting down roots, a company bringing jobs to the region. The decisions that we make now ensure that as we grow, we do so in a way that strengthens our county and enhances the experience of living here. Each one of these statistics represents a touch point where my team has played a part in someone's future. In 2024, the building inspections team has been very, very lean. A team of 3 doing inspections all across the county, 5,516 of them. Led by building official Mark Bowles, Inspector Matt Hall, and Sam Lackey, again, covering the entire county, supporting those who have chosen to build right here in Botetourt County. Gail Carter, our Development Review Coordinator, wrangles all of the staff in making sure that we are doing our work to try as hard as we can to get those reviews turned around so that we can keep progress moving. Tamara Farrell works on the residential permitting side, helping to do the same. When I was working on this presentation, Tiffany gave me about 7 minutes. I wrestled with how much stats I'm going to spit out, how much time to honor and recognize my staff, and how much to hook you all in so that you can continue to be engaged and active in helping us plan for the future. It's not enough time to do any of those things on their own. But I realized something. We share these stats because we're so gosh darn proud of our team and the work that they do, and I just want to take a quick minute to say thank you to you all. So the future in the field of planning is all about ensuring people have access to great jobs, vibrant public spaces, and strong infrastructure. In the past year, we've seen exciting new restaurants, multiple places to get a steak, 2 now and 2 under construction, business expansions, apartments and subdivisions, a new mixed-use community, and private investments in renewable energy. I'm going to give a shout out here to Mr. John McCoy, who oversees the Planning and Zoning Office. Now, he gives me a run for my money, cracking jokes in public meetings, but he's also a whiz behind the scenes. With our partnerships and communications with communications team, economic development, administration, the Planning Commission, the Board of Supervisors, he has overseen and executed the launch of this great tool. So the next time that you're at bowel practice or getting your hair done, which are the 2 places that I get most of my insider information, you can be the one in the know. You'll be able to get to this in the community development page of the BoCo website. So please take a look at it on your own and remember that there are opportunities for you to continue to be in the know. I'm not sure which student designed this, but I thought, wow, they really did my job for me today. So amazing, right? I had the honor of being with Supervisor White at CAMS to do a workshop with the kids there, and it was just amazing and absolutely wonderful how in tune they are to what really makes our community special. It was really one of my highlights from last year. So for those who fell in love in Botetourt or fell in love in Botetourt, we all got here somehow. Our history is woven into the fabric of our identity, and protecting that heritage ensures that future generations will know the stories that shape this place. Preserving our cultural and environmental resources not only honors our past, but strengthens tourism, attracts new residents, and fosters pride in our community. A county that values its history creates a lasting sense of place and identity. So how do we tie it all together? Assignment number 2, take a second on your own and imagine a future Botetourt County. Even with all the advancements and all the things that are happening in our world, the heart of the community will always be its people. We must ensure our plans create a future that is innovative and deeply connected. Through smart planning, we can ensure that Botetourt remains business-friendly while maintaining the character and quality of life that makes it special. This means carefully balancing infrastructure, development, and preserving our rural charm. There is no better team to be leading that charge than our planning staff, led by John McCoy, planners Nick Baker and Matthew Lindsay, and I like to call Miss Laura Goat our wrangler. I want to tell you a quick second, a story about her from yesterday. She's been here over 20 years. I won't tell you too long exactly, but yesterday a gentleman that reached out to me about a deed. He lost a family member this week and was out of Botetourt. He wondered if we could send him a deed so he didn't have to take a day off to come to the courthouse. I no sooner hit send on my email than the gentleman had that deed. And that is the kind of care and service to our community that I'm very, very proud of our team about. Matthew Lewis is one member of staff that actually serves both the development services and the planning and zoning side. And he's got a wonderful knack for connecting the dots. This is something that's really, really important. Again, balancing what our folks in the field are doing today and how we're serving the residents of today and how we continue to work to serve the residents of the future. I'm very excited to announce that our Envision 2040 comp plan is back up and rolling again. Our plan's been underway a little longer than we like, but over 5 years of community input with over 1,000 touch points by our citizens, we are narrowing in and working to provide a final comp plan draft with the engagement of our planning commissioners, board of supervisors, thank you, for doing that. We will continue to work on that, and stay tuned. There will be future opportunities for public engagement on that, as well as an eventual public hearing once we get it to a place that we believe it can go to public hearing for future consideration. So we all have a choice in how Botetourt grows. If we continue to focus on the people, our businesses, our households, our communities, our youth, we will remain a place where people fall in love with where they live. I encourage, call to action, each of you to stay engaged, provide input, and be a part of the planning process. Together, we can ensure that Botetourt continues to be a place that people love for generations to come, a future that embraces progress while honoring our roots. That's the Botetourt we're building together. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, now I am bringing, he is the director of fun, I think. So we're bringing Victor Morales. He's going to come up and he is going to talk. He is new to our team in 2024. So he's going to talk about a lot of the exciting things that are getting ready to happen and are already underway in the Parks and Rec world. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Morales. I'm the new kid on the block. I am the director of fun, as she says, or director of Parks and Recreation is my official title. I live right here in Daleville because I want to be a part of the community that I get to build kind of the Parks and Recreation department for my family to enjoy, as well as my remote working wife and just all my staff. So very excited to be here. As the director of fun, what better than to have an activity plan for everybody in this room, and even those who are at home. So this is a multitasking activity, a challenge, some might say. So everybody in this room, I need you to raise a family-friendly finger up into the air like this. You know what it means. Yeah. Don't point it at me, right? All right. All right. And then if you're feeling highly confident today that you can handle the challenge I'm about to present to you, you can put 2 family-friendly fingers up into the sky. All right. Now, we're gonna get a little momentum behind it. We're gonna spin them around. You're feeling really confident you can change direction at any time. All right. And then I have a knock-knock joke for everybody in this room and at home. So knock, knock. Woo! So some of you are laughing. You really got the joke. Others of you who are not laughing, that's totally okay. That's part of the fun that I wanted to have with you all today. Recreation, by definition, is fun while not working. And somehow I found a way to have fun while working. There's not really a name for that yet, but we're trying to figure it out. And just really what our department does is we try and facilitate fun. We make it easier for families, individuals, adults, whoever it could be, to have fun, especially in your busy work days. You want to allow those opportunities for you to be accessible, affordable, and all that good stuff. Our department overview, I kind of split it up into 4 major categories. Recreation is kind of our programming arm of our department. It's the different activities, the youth sports, the community recreation that has to be offered. The sports complex is our 4 softball field tournament complex, major tourism part of Botetourt County, bringing a lot of people from all over the country to be able to enjoy and see kind of the beauty that we've all fallen in love with here. Our van program is our non-emergency medical transport service that for $6 round trip, anybody across this whole entire county can call, and then we can come pick them up and take them to medical appointments. And that's $6 round trip for the whole day. And then parks, the facilities, the kind of different areas around here. I'd like to kind of specify that specifically as the playgrounds at the elementary schools. It could be Buchanan Town Park, all these different facilities that are available to you all on an everyday basis. Here's a little shout out to our AU Super Bowl champions, the Cavaliers. This picture I just love because it kind of just showcases the next generation coming up being taught by the previous generation. What's really neat is that our youth sports is often the first time that kids are on a team. It's often the first time that they have a different role model for them. All of our coaches are volunteers who receive 0 funding to do that task, spending 3 to 6 hours a week on the fields, making sure for about 10, 12 weeks that our kids have something fun to do after school. Here's a little bit of statistics about our recreation programming. So youth sports, we've got 7 sports, technically 8 if you count t-ball in that. Soccer, flag football, tackle football, cheerleading, basketball, baseball, and softball. These are all available for youth participants somewhere between the ages of about 4 to 6 years old up until about 17 years old. For the most part, about 12 years old is when they kind of cap off. Here you can kind of see our youth registration. We had 2,228 people enrolled in our programs this previous year. That's 10 more than the year before that. But we're just excited that we have this opportunity after school programming for these kids to enjoy. 394 volunteer coaches throughout these seasons. Once again, these are people who dedicate 12 weeks of their time to spend with their child as well as 9 other random children and really motivate them to not only just get better at the sport, but once again, learn how to work together as a team, to celebrate the victories, to overcome the losses, and to just overall be better individuals for it. Once again, average about 10 weeks of practices, 10 scheduled games is what everyone's given, 8 guaranteed. So why I throw this out there, so not every single kid in Botetourt County is enrolled in our sports. And we want them to know that we try and make it as affordable as possible. For about $65 to $85 for most of our sports you can play. If you at home, anybody in here have any kind of financial hesitations for this, we make it a priority to offer financial assistance for individuals who feel like they cannot afford. We don't want that to be a reason that kids don't have these opportunities. So if you ever have any questions about our youth sports programming, you feel free to ask us. Here's just some metrics. For the first time in a long time, we actually put forth a survey at the end of our season because we wanted to hear from everybody about give them the opportunity at least to tell us how the season went. So in the fall, 101 families responded to it, and here's just 2 of the metrics that are on there. So how was your child's overall experience, with 5 being very satisfied, 4 being satisfied, and then everything below that. 4.25 was the average that we had there. So we were very excited to see that people actually are enjoying the youth sports programming. And below that, you can see we asked the question, did your child have fun? 98% of people, those parents, responded that their child had fun in our program. So once again, just to encourage you all to have your kids join our esports. Community recreation is one of those things that we've had around kind of in our back pocket all along, but we've never had a dedicated employee to host these programs. We finally were able to hire somebody in January to be our community recreation coordinator. So you'll start seeing some more programming for people of all different age groups and demographics. One picture here is of the Cherry Blossom Trail, the Kids in Parks track trail. It is a self-service. You can kind of go on your own self-guided tour, pick up a little scavenger hunt, find out the bugs and the plants that are in the area. And then here's just a picture. We have partnerships with all of the different sub-departments and even the sheriff's office and even the schools and all these other places. At the libraries, we've been able to host yoga for beginners, 10:30 a.m., allowing some senior citizens to have a way to move, connect with each other in a social environment. Here's just a few statistics, some of the bigger ones. Movies in the park. So we would, put up a big movie theater, often pairing with trunk or treats at the elementary schools and some other events. We had about 300 people be involved in that. Senior Bingo, this is a partnership that we have with the libraries as well as with the sheriff's office. 355 participants throughout the year were a part of that. Pickleball was a really big fun thing that we do at Breckenridge Elementary School. 225 participants for that. That was just over the summer, and we had 20 beginner lessons that if you've never played the sport before, we had an instructor come in and teach them how to do it. BoCo Wild, which I'll talk about a little bit later as well, is this big kind of, originally it was a fishing carnival that now has become an outdoor recreation festival for families, kids of all ages to be able to enjoy the outdoors and be exposed to something that they may have never been exposed to before. 700 participants are the ones that we got the head count clicker for. This is the Buchanan Town Park, and if any of you are familiar with that, there's about 1,000 entrances to Buchanan Town Park. So this isn't necessarily the total number of people there, it's just the number that we were able to capture. Looking into 2025, which is very exciting for me to be able to announce, is that we really want to cater our programming for all people, all backgrounds, all ages, and not just focus on youth sports. So what you'll start seeing soon, probably come as soon as March, is outdoor recreation offerings, so such as guided hikes, some stuff on the river and all that kind of good stuff. Social fitness offerings such as yoga, having it available in evenings as well, so working parents, so single working adults can also be available to do those. Leisure offerings, so adult van trips are something that we have brought back and have already begun doing those. And then bingo, we plan to continue doing bingo. And there's plenty more beyond that. But one thing I just want to call out to everybody here is that you should be looking for the call for volunteers. Like our youth sports programming, we can do so much more with volunteers. If there is a passion area that you love to fish, you love to hike, you love to do yoga, whatever it may be, we want to provide you the resources to be able to do that in a controlled, kind of monitored environment so that we can offer more and more programming to this entire community. So there'll be a call for volunteers sometime soon. So just be looking forward to that coming our way. BoCo Wild, this is the save the date for that. So on June 14th, 2025 from 1 to 7 p.m. At Buchanan Town Park. Once again, this was historically a fishing carnival. So some highlights of this event, you can bring your child and then they can go fishing maybe for the first time. We have a little swimming pool that they're able to fish right in there with kind of guides around them to kind of help them catch trout and actually take it home with them in a little baggie full of ice. There's some river fishing, there's a rock climbing wall, moon bounces, plenty of activities throughout that whole 1 to 7 time frame. Don't have to be there the whole time. You can just come there for an hour and there'll be plenty for you and your child to do. This is a big partnership that we've had with the Department of Wildlife Management and a couple of other sheriff's office and a bunch of other different organizations. So just very excited to share this date with you all, and more information will be flowing your way shortly. Sports complex, here's just a picture aerial view of it. This once again is kind of our major tourism kind of option and opportunity for a lot of people. We're in partnership with Salem and with the rest of the Roanoke Valley to host tournaments for people all throughout the county and all throughout the state and all throughout the country. So here's just a couple of metrics for that. Sports complex, our operating season is from March to October. That's when the weather's nice and that's when people want to be outside. Total tournaments this year we had 40 as compared to 25 in 2023. Total visitors inside of the sports complex 15,734. The total kind of revenue that was generated from the gate and from kind of being there at the facility, $26,053. And then total concession vendor revenue was a $50,000, 244. This is a small dollar amount as compared to the beds and heads, the people who are eating at the local restaurants. Our tourism company will tell you more about all the people who've come in. So this is just a snapshot of directly at the sports complex, but not necessarily the businesses that got additional business for people eating there. The hotels had people staying there. And overall, it's a regional effort that we're glad to be a part of. Our van program, once again, is our non-emergency medical transport service. You may have seen these vehicles driving around. We have 2 full-time drivers who are responsible for having 96 active riders. So in 2023, we only had 36 active riders. I'm excited to say when I first got here, we were able to wipe clean the wait list, and we were able to service people all throughout the entire county. You can live in Eagle Rock, you can live in Buchanan, you can live anywhere across the county. And as the way I like to put it, if UPS or FedEx can come to your door, so can we. So we're just very excited to be able to offer that. These 2 drivers put about 1,200 rides in and drove 53,000 miles over the last year. The crazy thing about this program is that we'll never be able to fully meet the need. As whenever so we'll pretty much always have a wait list and we'll always do the best that we can to remove that. But we have active riders, some people who ride 3 days a week for dialysis appointments that are necessary for them to be able to live. Some people ride once a month. So if in the past you feel like, you were not able to get a ride, feel free to contact us. We'll do everything that we can in our power to do that. One very exciting thing that happened in this past couple months is the Community Foundation provided us a $25,000 grant. And that paired along with the rider donations, we were able to fully finance another wheelchair accessible vehicle, which is just very exciting for us. So no tax dollar payers were needed to be able to purchase this. This is all based off of those $6 donations that the riders were given. This is based off of the $25,000 grant. So we're very excited for that. And we're now working towards the next vehicle with all the miles driven. Now, just because we have another vehicle doesn't mean that we can take more people. But now we do have 2 wheelchair accessible vehicles, so we can be able to expand that service. And we're just very excited to continue this program. Parks, this is something that you all will be seeing shortly as well. This is something that Matthew Lindsay in the back has helped create for us from community development. It's going to be known as Let's Go BoCo. So what we're trying to do as a department is, 1, for ourselves, understand all of the kind of resources that are in our own backyard. And then 2, it's going to be available for the public, that a kind of one-stop shop that you can be able to look for. Hey, I want to go hiking on a trail. I want to go to a park where there's a green space. I want to go swimming, boating, riding my bike. all these different regional resources. Now, these aren't all managed by directly us. Some of them are managed by the national the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Some of them are national forests. Others are private businesses. But these are all available resources to you all. We just want to make it more accessible that you know that they exist. There's about 50 that I marked right here. One thing I just really like to call out, I have a lot of nephews and nieces who say, I'm bored all the time. That seems to be the common word nowadays, is that I'm bored. So the first three kind of bullet points here: Greenfield, Blue Ridge Parks, Troutville, Buchanan Town Parks, 7 elementary schools, all have playgrounds and green spaces that if your kid ever tells you that they're bored, take them out to one of these places. As long as school isn't in session, all of these places are widely available. And those other two are available, pretty much sunrise to sunset, every day of the week. So if you're ever looking for something to do free, just take them out there, shoot some basketball, walk around the park, play on the swings, whatever it may be. The other just kind of the natural resources that made me fall in love with Botetourt County in the first place. George Washington, Jefferson National Forest, about 140 plus miles of trails just in our backyard. Appalachian Trails right here, the James River, Carbons Cove. There's so many unique, amazing mountains, rivers, streams, and beautiful places to go. My background is in outdoor recreation, taking students backpacking, skiing, snowboarding. And so for me, this is a haven, and I hope it is for you as well. Looking into 2025, one big thing that we want to focus on is parks and resources for play. So big news that you'll be seeing probably in April, maybe as soon as March, is that we will have permanently lined pickleball and tennis courts at Blue Ridge and Buck Canyon Elementary School, as well as basketball. The entire court will be resurfaced at Blue Ridge as well. So we're finalizing some details for that, but you should be seeing those improvements in the park shortly. So if you've been craving pickleball, it's coming to a park near you soon. And then in general, my focus has really been on maintenance. So protecting the resources that we've already put out there, making them, as bright and shiny and beautiful as the rest of Botetourt is, and really just highlighting the parks and resources so that you and your families have something to do on the weekends and after work. All that being said, thank you all for your time.
All right, everybody doing okay? All right. Now I have the other distinct pleasure of welcoming Dr. Jonathan Russ and I believe Mr. Mike Ketron, which I always kid him a lot because his wife was my daughter's elementary school kindergarten teacher. So I'm like, you have to be nice to me or I'm calling your wife. But let's give them all a hand.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Did David leave? Okay, well, maybe you all can give him this message. I've been superintendent here in Botetourt for 5 years, and it has been a blessed 5 years, I can say that. But one of the first people I met in Botetourt, one of the first people I talked to was Michelle, David's sister. And for 5 years, she has beat into my head that she is the most talented Alston in that family. But I know after this morning, that was not the truth. So you can let him know I said that. And one other thing, Nicole, I was at LB last night. And for any of you who want it, I can get video footage of Nicole ripping across the floor, but you all were fabulous. I'll jump right in. I am John Russ, superintendent of Botetourt, and it has been a blessing these past 5 years. I don't want to continue without letting you all know we have one of the best. Now, I've worked in 5 divisions, and I'm very familiar with many of the other 132 divisions. But in Botetourt, we are blessed with one of the best school boards in the state of Virginia. And I say that because our 5 board members are all in it for the right reason. There are no hidden agendas. They're not coming in with their own thoughts, that's something they want to do just for themselves. All of our board members have or had children that went to through our school system. And again, they're all in it for the right reasons. Our board chair, Anna Weddle, is here. Our vice chair, Mr. Matt East, is here. And I also want to recognize Mr. Tim Davidic, Dana McCaleb, and Jenny Wilson. And again, we have the right school board in place. And yes, they're my boss. Yes, they're the reason I get paid But if they were to tell me today was my last day, I would repeat what I just said. They are truly a great school board. The first, we're going through 3 or 4 things, and I'm going to let Mr. Ketchum talk about workforce development. That is one of our shining stars, and I cannot do the justice for it that Mr. Ketchum can. We'll talk about some of the capital improvement projects we have been able to complete and still need to complete, but I won't go too in depth for that. And then some things we're looking forward to in the coming year. This is one of the most proud accomplishments as a school division that I consider one of our most proud accomplishments. Out of 132 school divisions, our reading state assessments, we ranked 6th in the state this past year. In mathematics, again, this is out of 132, we ranked 4th in the state. And if you combine all reading, math, science, social studies, writing, if you combine them all, Botetourt County ranks 7th overall in the state. That is no small accomplishment. Again, I've worked in many other school divisions. This was not the case. And getting here is difficult, but staying here and going higher is even more difficult, but that is what we're striving for. When all 3 of these numbers are ones, then we'll say our job is complete. But we have great administrators, we have great teachers, and we have great parents who send their kids to school ready to learn and motivated to learn. Like I said, I'm going to let Mr. Ketchum talk about our BTEC and CTE program. I know I give Mr. Ketchum a hard time, but he does have, he has 2 jobs, and he'll probably tell you about it. Not only is he the principal at BTEC, he is also the supervisor of our CTE program. And he literally, when I got here, there was another principal in the position at BTEC. When he left, instead of replacing him with another principal, I asked Mr. Ketchum if he could do both, and he said, "There's not a doubt in my mind." The only downside, if I had to give a negative about Mr. Ketchum, for 2 years, he has still not beaten me in a round of golf, but he's still working on that.
Thank you. That round of golf is coming this summer, but we'll see. So I do want to give an update on workforce development in Botetourt County, which workforce development is funny. We prepare students for whatever they want to do. We have a number of students that we send to college and other places. We also take students who want to go to work right after high school. So we do that. And I'm also the dual enrollment coordinator, by the way. So I handle that as well. So, you know, we have students. One of the things that I want to talk about is our expanded welding lab. It is complete. So that is a project that we started. Thank you. That applause really should go to Ken McFadden because he was instrumental in helping us secure the grant. So thank you, Ken. That was a partnership between the Botetourt Education Foundation, Botetourt County Public Schools, and the Economic Development Authority. And so we secured a $166,000 grant, of which we had to match a certain amount. So we matched about $100,000 through contributions from our business and industry partners and the Education Foundation and the school system, of course. And so that was a $266,000 expansion. It is complete. It is in operation. And currently we have given out more AWS, American Welding Society certifications at this point in the year than ever before. So we are very proud of that fact. And that leads into my next thing. And I know many of you have heard about our signing day, where we have our students who have secured full-time employment with business and industry upon graduation. And last year's signing day, we had the largest signing day ever. 39 students were recognized, and they all went out to jobs in business and industry. I love that picture because it's such a big group. It's a diverse group because we had students from cosmetology, nursing, welding, auto service, auto body, building trades, a business department. I don't think I'm missing anyone, but we had students from all of those areas who had secured full-time employment, and we recognized them last year at our signing day. Just so you know, and I'll invite you now, because I always invite the Board of Supervisors, and it's going to be May the 12th, and we'll have another one. So if you want to attend, I think it's a great event, and it is what we do. It is workforce development, and that's what it looks like. So thank you.
So one of our lists, and if you look at our list of priorities, our first priority has always been and will always be student safety and staff safety. Until these three projects were complete, we had 4 of our buildings that had single entries. And what I mean by that is if you open the front door, you're in the building completely. Our other schools, 7 of our other schools have at least had double entries. But because of state funding money that was put into this last biennium budget, we have been able to address Reed Mountain, Troutville, and B-Tech. They all 3 have new entrances, and it's there's no entry that will ever be 100% guaranteed safe, but these are as close as we're going to get them. We have 1 building left. We're currently in the works on completing that one. That is Eagle Rock Elementary. It will also be a double entry door. But as I mentioned, school safety will always be our #1 priority, and we're addressing that. Looking ahead, I just said safety infrastructure and capital improvement, those go hand in hand. I'll make a personal plea while I'm here with a captive audience with our Board of Supervisors here. For a lot of our capital improvement, we're going to need support. And what I mean by support is financial support. But that falls on all of us. If you pay taxes in the county, that falls on you as well. But that is something we're working toward. Down to academics and instruction, as I said, until we get #1 in math, reading, and overall, we're not going to let up. And I've said since the day I got here, if we become complacent, we'll start going backwards. And that's not going to happen. And then ongoing collaboration, as I mentioned, we have a superb school board. We also have a superb Board of Supervisors. I look forward to the 2 groups working together in the coming year. And there are things we need to complete and accomplish as a school division that neither board can do on their own. It's going to take a collaboration of both boards. And I feel confident that we have the 2 boards in place that can do that. And of course, you've already heard we have a above fabulous county administrator. So I know that reminds me, I want Mr. Clinton to introduce me next year. But that's an update of schools. I thank you all for all your support. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
All right, we'll work on your intro for next year. We'll make sure we'll step that up. All right. All right, friends. So now I'm pleased to welcome Maya Ashby. So she is the president of the Botetourt Chamber of Commerce, and this girl's a rock star. Like, I got to work with her a lot in her role at CBEC, but she's going to come kind of give you a snapshot. I know there's a few other board members. I see Danielle Alexander up there, one of my favorite people too. So go ahead, Maya, take it away.
Dr. Russ is a little taller than I am. Fix that. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for still being here. I know we are running a little over our 8 to 9 a.m. time slot, so I appreciate your time. Can you all hear me? Is this close enough to my mouth? So again, as Tiffany just said, my name is Maya Ashby, and I serve as the Director of Communications for Craig Botetourt Electric Cooperative and their Be Online Advantage broadband subsidy which I am also the Director of Communications for. And side note, we are one of the few broadband companies in Botetourt. So quick shout out for them. And then, of course, in my spare time, as Tiffany just mentioned, I am the president of Botetourt County Chamber of Commerce. So I was gonna make this a pop quiz for you guys, but I realize that it's early, so I won't even do that to you. But for everyone who wasn't aware, didn't already know, the first American chamber was established in the state of New York in 1768, followed by the first local chamber located in Charleston, South Carolina. And a few short 172 years later, the Botetourt Chamber was founded. But the very first chamber origins go all the way back to 1599 in Marseille, France. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I'm sorry, I'm not French. So the Chamber of Commerce concept is not a new one. Our mission, simply put, is to advocate, educate, and facilitate. To build relationships through networking events, educational programs, and collaborative initiatives that foster a supportive environment for businesses to thrive. We strive to connect local entrepreneurs and organizations, facilitating meaningful partnerships that drive innovation and prosperity within our community. Our chamber serves as a vital resource, offering guidance and advocacy to ensure that the Botetourt area remains a vibrant place to live, work, and do business. By engaging with local leaders, businesses, and residents, we aim to create a unified vision for the future that reflects our shared values and aspirations. Whether you're a small business owner or a large corporation, the Botetourt Chamber is here to support your journey and celebrate your successes. Despite our current executive director vacancy, which, by the way, we are actively interviewing for, so if anybody out there is interested or knows somebody who is, please send them our way. We have a wonderful group of 21 board members. I couldn't even fit all of their actual paying job titles in this slide because there's just too much. I had to get everybody's face here for sure. And you will see some familiar faces out in the crowd. And if we do have, and I know we do, some board members here, do you mind standing real quick? I know they all hate this. Thank you, guys. These folks, as a reminder, volunteer their time to ensure that the Chamber's initiatives align with the needs and goals of our community. Their dedication and expertise are invaluable assets, driving forward our mission to enhance the economic vitality of the Botetourt area. Each board member brings unique perspectives and skills, enriching our discussions and decisions. These all are really amazing people, and if you haven't got a chance to know them or talk to them or work with them, you are really missing out, and we couldn't do all the things that we're able to do with the chamber without these people. So thank you all. So why should you join a chamber? Joining a Chamber of Commerce provides numerous benefits, as you can see, including credibility, visibility, learning opportunities, discounts, advocacy, and networking opportunities, which is usually the first in people's minds when you think about a chamber. Overall, joining a chamber is a strategic move that offers lasting rewards, whether for expanding your network or shaping our community's future. This past year, we were happy to support and celebrate 8 Botetourt area businesses with their ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. Each event was a testament to the growth and dynamism of our local economy, showcasing the entrepreneurial spirit that thrives within Botetourt. These moments not only mark the start of new ventures, but also strengthen the bonds between businesses and their wider community, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and mutual support. Looking ahead, we have a series of exciting events and initiatives planned to further support our members and the community at large. As we continue to navigate the ever-changing business landscape, the Botetourt Chamber remains committed to adapting and evolving to meet the needs of our members. We are here to listen, advocate, and act as a catalyst for positive change. Together, we can build a future that not only celebrates our rich history, but also embraces the potential for innovation and progress. We invite you to join us on this journey, contributing your voice and vision to our collective efforts. Whether you're new to the area or a longstanding resident, there's a place for you in the Botetourt Chamber of Commerce. We also held several networking and educational events, 16 to be exact, with a couple in collaboration with some of our friends from other local chambers, including Roanoke, Salem Roanoke, and Montgomery. These events fostered learning and connections among professionals, promoting economic growth and community development through regional partnerships. We are eager to explore collaboration and innovation opportunities as our, lost my place. We are eager to collaborate and innovate to create opportunities and are thankful for the support from our members and partners. Our successful events reflect the community spirit of Botetourt, and we aim to build on this momentum by expanding educational offerings like workshops, seminars, and mentorships to empower businesses. We'll advocate for our members' interests to create a business-friendly environment and encourage growth. In addition to our ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, and other networking opportunities, we are also grateful to bring back some of our signature events, including our annual meeting of the membership, where we come together to say thank you to the outgoing board members and welcome some fresh faces to the board. Our annual golf tournament, which we partner with Food Lion Feeds to support local nonprofits in our area. Our annual dinner, where we present awards and recognize some outstanding businesses in Botetourt and community leaders. And last but certainly not least is our Tinsel Trail holiday event, which features 45 Christmas trees beautifully decorated by local businesses and nonprofits that are strewn throughout Fincastle. Community involvement and giving back is a key piece to the puzzle of Botetourt. In 2024, we distributed $7,500 in charitable donations to various local organizations and initiatives that are making a difference in our community and have been doing so for several years. These contributions help support efforts in education, health, and social services, ensuring that our community continues to grow and thrive. We believe that by investing in our local community, we're not only enhancing its present, but also securing a brighter future for everyone. Looking forward, we plan to continue expanding our outreach and philanthropic efforts, seeking new ways to uplift and support those around us. We are also excited to announce that we will be launching a new initiative aimed at fostering volunteer efforts and supporting local nonprofit organizations in our area. More details on that to come. If you're not currently involved with the chamber, whether that means being a member or part of one of our committees, we invite you to check out our sponsorship opportunities, which can be found at our website at botetourtchamber.com. Sponsorship offers a unique way to enhance your business's visibility and demonstrate the commitment to the community. By partnering with us, you can align your brand with the positive impact we strive to make in Botetourt, gaining exposure through our events, programs, and digital platforms. Our sponsorship packages are designed to cater to businesses of all sizes, big or small, offering flexibility and tailored benefits to suit your needs. We truly value the contributions and support of the members and sponsors as they play an integral role in the success of our initiatives. With your involvement, we can continue to nurture a thriving business community and foster a sense of camaraderie and collaboration in Botetourt. In addition to our board, we also have 9 chamber committees, each focusing on a different aspect of our mission to support and uplift the Botetourt business community. And if you're counting, I'm missing one on the slide. I did not want to bother Tiffany with making that edit. So we also have a scholarship committee. So just imagine that is up there. Each committee is led by passionate members who volunteer their time and expertise to drive the chamber's mission forward. We encourage our members to get involved with the committees that align with their interests and strengths, as it's a fantastic way to make a meaningful impact in our community. By working together, we can address the unique challenges and opportunities that face Botetourt, ensuring a prosperous future for all. If you're interested in joining a committee or learning more about their efforts, we'd love to hear from you. Your involvement can make a real difference, and we're excited to welcome new voices and perspectives into our vibrant chamber family. So whether you're looking to network with like-minded professionals, gain access to valuable resources, or simply give back to the community, the Botetourt Chamber of Commerce offers numerous opportunities to get involved and make a difference. As we move forward, we remain committed to fostering an inclusive and supportive environment where all members can thrive. We invite everyone to be a part of this exciting journey, whether by joining the Chamber, participating in our events, or simply supporting local businesses. We are grateful for the continued support and engagement of our members, board, committees, and partners, all of whom contribute to the vibrant and dynamic spirit of the Botetourt Chamber. We look forward to the exciting journey ahead and to working closely with each of you to build a bright and prosperous future for our community. Together, we can make Botetourt an even better place to live, work, and grow. Let's make the coming years successful and impactful for all, and we can't wait to see what we can all accomplish together. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. I mean, just everything that all the Chamber Board has done this year has been stellar and amazing and great events. And we just appreciate the way that you love on our community. Okay, we're gonna move this right along. I know, is everybody good? We still have coffee outside. Okay, we're getting close to the finish line. So right now we're gonna invite you to fall in love with history. I've had so many pleasures this morning. Lindsay Alley is going to join us from the Botetourt Historical Society, and she is going to, we know history is a big part of, like Nicole was talking about, the fabric of our community. So we invited Lindsay here to just showcase, she's got some cool stuff happening. Her and a lot of her colleagues, I think they're kind of sprinkled through the audience here. So Lindsay, take it away.
All right. Yes, thanks, Tiffany, for inviting me to come speak today. Give a little update on all that we're doing to celebrate Botetourt's long history. And so we're going to jump right in. So one of the top missions of the Botetourt County Historical Society is education, right? So helping that next generation fall in love with history. And we invited some homeschool groups to come to visit the museum. We did programming with them. We attended the Greenfield Elementary's Dragon Fest back in the spring. We unveiled the new archaeological dig pit activity there. You can kind of see the kids digging around. That was a wildly popular activity with the kids, I think second only to the snow cones that they also had there. So that was great. And we also participated, Botetourt YMCA, with their summer camp series this past summer as well. And we did not get a picture, but also in the spring, we had a new teacher academy come to the museum. So we had teachers with Botetourt County Schools come. We got to share that history with them and let them know what sort of programming and things that we have available through the museum. And it also got them some continuing education points that they need for their licensing and things. So that was really great. Tiffany, make this work. It's no. We have more, I promise.
It's smoking because we're just like, it's so much cool stuff. Stand by. Oh, there we go. Hold on. We're coming back.
We got to back it up.
We'll back up.
Yes.
Okay. Right there?
No.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Right there?
No.
Keep
going. There we go. Okay.
I promise we practiced yesterday.
We did. So we also had another homeschool group visit us in the fall, and we also offer outreach programs to schools. So if a group can't come to the museum, we send our educators out to the schools. And this photo here, I think this is Greenfield Elementary and then Troutville Elementary up on the screen. And what's really good about our educators is that if a school contacts them to get an outreach program, they tailor their presentation to wherever they're going. So for Colonial Elementary, they focus more on the history of Blue Ridge, things with the same with Buchanan, Troutville, things like that. They tailor it to focus more on that. And one thing I would like to point out for these visits, these programs, any outreach, the Historical Society does not charge a fee for that. I think the YMCA summer camp, that was one of the only paid opportunities we had this past year, and that was because we were in their paid summer camp series. But we definitely want to see kids, see visitors come through the museum without having to worry about costs. So we do offer that free of charge. And one of the things that we are probably the most proud of is what we call the Great History Tour. So Botetourt County Schools reached out to me and asked if the Historical Society would be willing and able to offer a program for fifth graders. And so in fall of 2023, we did sort of a pilot year is what we called it, where we had 3 schools come on site to sort of see how this Great History Tour might work out. The response was so overwhelmingly positive that in fall 2024, we had every fifth grader in the county come through our doors at the museum. And for those of you that may not know, there's about 330 fifth graders in the county. And we brought them all through in the course of 4 days. So if you're doing a little bit of basic math there, that's not quite 100 fifth graders a day. And all I have to say is God bless teachers. Y'all are out there doing the Lord's work, I think, with what you do. And with the Great History Tour, I also want to thank Historic Fincastle Incorporated. They did allow us to go inside the James Early Cabin and the Wysong Blacksmith Shop so the kids could see some of these historic buildings just up close. And St. Mark's Episcopal Church, which is a very historic church in Fincastle, also let us go into their building so the kids could see. And it was great. They loved it. In addition to the walking tour of Fincastle, we also have 3 stations on site at the museum, and those included industry in Botetourt that focused on the canneries and furnaces, things like that, and mapping Botetourt, which taught them how to like read a map, draw a map, things like that, read a compass, and Lewis and Clark. And then, like I said, the walking tour. And one last thing before I move on that I need to point out is that any of our educational programming, it would not be possible if we did not have the team of volunteers that we have at the museum. I am very, very lucky to have an army of retired educators. All of them, I think, or at least most of them, are actually retired from Botetourt County. So they help me come up with the content, the ideas, all the programming. So like I said, none of this would be possible without all the work that they do. So thank you to our volunteers. There's so many of them that I can't name because I would definitely go over our time. So students, kids that love history oftentimes turn into adults that love history. So the Historical Society offers lectures throughout the year, and these are just a few that we had in 2024. We try and do these every other month. These are also free, open to the public. We try and bounce around the county to different locations to host these in an effort to make them accessible to everybody within the county. For our Founders Day in 2023 at our annual dinner, we had state underwater archaeologist Brendan Burke as our speaker, and he talked about work that he is doing at the Marshall Tunnel property, which is here in Botetourt County. And you can see that's a photo there inside part of the tunnel along the canal system in the James River. And his talk inspired so much interest in the Marshall Tunnel that he was kind enough to help us put together a very small walking tour of the Marshall Tunnel property. We hope to offer this again. Everyone really enjoyed it. It was a great day, but the Marshall Tunnel is on private property. So there's a lot of moving pieces to kind of coordinate with that. We also try and focus on weather where maybe snakes and ticks are not as active. So we got a real small window to work with, but we do hope to offer this tour again. Like I said, it was a great day, and it was awesome to see the tunnel. Speaking of Founders Day, in October, we hosted our annual fundraising dinner. And this year it was at Virginia Mountain Winery. And it was the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Point Pleasant, which took place in what was then Botetourt County at the time. And Dr. Sarah McCartney from the College of William and Mary was our speaker. And she talked about the Battle of Point Pleasant. And we had about 150 folks in attendance for this event. And it was a real nice turnout, a beautiful day. We were also very excited to be able to tie in with the State VA 250 Commission to help make this happen. So it was a very special Founders Day. Probably one of my favorite things about what we do is working and partnering with other organizations to help bring awareness to different events and things. It helps, like I said, bring in other demographics, other people that maybe don't know that the Historical Society even exists, or maybe didn't have an interest in attending any of our events. So in the spring, Botetourt Chapter DAR actually unveiled a Revolutionary War America 250 marker on the grounds of the museum. And there was a program at Fincastle Presbyterian Church afterward. There was a great turnout for that. In June, we hosted the first Paint Fincastle event in conjunction with Open Studios Botetourt. And that was an event that artists of all skill levels could register for, and they would come to the town and invited to paint like outdoor scenes from around the town. And then there was a little reception at the museum where folks could display their finished artwork at the end of the day. And people that we had never seen at any of our events showed up for that. So that was great. Probably one of my kookier ideas, dare I say, was the idea of doing a lecture series called History After Dark. And that was, the idea behind that was to focus on maybe topics of history that were a little seedier, a little shadier. The topics were things like history of cannabis in the US, medieval witch trials, the history of insane asylums. I mean, really nice, cheerful, fun stuff. So at the end of every month from May through October, professors, historians throughout Roanoke College, Hollins University, different parts would come to the rooftop of 1772, which is where we hosted this, and talked about all these super fun things. And I was very nervous. I'm like, people are either really going to love this or they're really going to hate this. We sold out the roof every month. Every month. I think September, we kind of had a dip in attendance. That was when Hurricane Helene came through. But we sold it out every month. Again, folks that have never been to any of our events were on the roof. And a portion of food and drink sales from the evening came back to benefit the Historical Society. This event helped raise over $1,000 for the Historical Society over the entire series. So I wanted to thank 1772, the Barquettes, Ian at 1772. They did not blink. They didn't bat an eye when I was like, it's going to get weird. Just so you know, up on the roof, they were like, no, we love it. Please, like, we can't wait. When can you start? We've also partnered with Muddy Squirrel and Historic Fincastle to bring back the Haunted History Walking Tour of Fincastle. That came back in 2022. We sold it out. It sold out in 2023, and it sold out in 2024. People love when you mix history with some creepy stories. It's great, brings people to the town. And so we look forward to working with them again this year. Historic Fincastle has opened up the blacksmith shop and the early cabin many times for that. So we're very thankful for them. We also have a group called It's About Time that has come to the museum for multiple years. That is a group out of Roanoke, and they offer care to adults with physical and intellectual disabilities. So they've come in the past during Tinsel Trail. They take the group around, look at the trees in Fincastle. They come to the museum for a tour. Then they head across the street to Main Street B&B for some hot chocolate. So it's a great group to have. I think this was their third or fourth year coming to us. We always look forward to it. They're always interested in things that we have on display. And speaking of the Tinsel Trail, we have had a long-standing holiday open house that we do that now we try and time with the kickoff of Tinsel Trail. And this is a community favorite event. We have well over 100 people come through our doors in one evening during this. We have food, drink, it's a real fun evening. Around the holiday season, Botetourt Historical Society also participated in Museum Store Sunday for the first time. This is sort of along the lines of Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. It's an initiative that brings awareness to like museum gift shops, which some organizations rely heavily on funds that they make in their gift shop. We were one of only 4 museums in the area to participate. D-Day Memorial, Taubman Museum, and the Virginia Museum of Transportation were the others. And sometimes our love of history takes us on the road. So in August, St. John's Church in Richmond, which is where Patrick Henry gave his famous Give Me Liberty speech, they offered to host a special Botetourt Day for us to celebrate John Boyer and Andrew Lewis, who were the Botetourt delegates in attendance for Patrick Henry's speech at the Second Virginia Convention. And so I also asked Delegate Terry Austin if he would be able to attend and be one of the actors in the reenactment that day, and he agreed. Sadly, you cannot take photos during the reenactment, so we don't have a photo of him, but he actually portrayed the Reverend Miles Selden that day, and it was great. Botetourt residents were offered discounted tickets to attend, and that there is Stephen Wilson, who is the director of St. John's, Delegate Austin, and that is Cheryl Wilson. She is with the Virginia State VA 250. And so we got a bus tour together, and so that folks that maybe didn't want to drive to Richmond or couldn't make the drive to Richmond were still able to go. And while we were there in Richmond, we also got a tour of the state capitol building, and the delegate was kind enough to make sure that our group had access to the second floor of the capitol building, which is where a portrait of Lord Botetourt hangs. And so this photo here of our group, that is us standing in front of the portrait of Lord Botetourt at the state capitol building. And so sometimes we hit the road with history, and sometimes history comes to us. We welcomed well over 1,500 visitors in 2024, and these are just some of the states this last year that folks came to visit. Some were just kind of passing through, no real business, but there were quite a few people that came specifically to do genealogy research, family history research. Botetourt County, as most of you probably know, was once so large that even now a lot of people in Kentucky, Illinois, all sorts of places often trace their family history back to Botetourt. So, like I said, a lot of folks coming from abroad. We even had visitors internationally. This again is just as 2024. The lady from Canada, she specifically was coming to do genealogy research, because I remember I was shocked that she came from Canada to Botetourt to do research. And so that's just great to see. We work in conjunction with the courthouse and the Fincastle Library on research requests such as this. We have a lot of materials and things, but if we don't have a specific thing that someone's looking for, I often refer them to the courthouse or Renee Worthen with the Fincastle Libraries for any sort of genealogy research. So what do we have going on this year for 2025? Some of you may have already seen, we have this interactive activity at the museum. I'm calling it Unspoken Names. But we were able to get some names of enslaved people in the county from courthouse records. And so their names are here in the unspoken container. And visitors are invited to reach in, take a name out, read it aloud as a sign of acknowledgement, and put it in the remembered box. So that'll be up long term at the museum. For those of you that may not know, there was a fire in Fincastle in 1870, and it burned much of the town. And Mutual Assurance is an insurance company that actually had policies on many of the homes that burned in that fire. They are currently working on a series of documentaries about different localities that they have worked in. And so they're doing Fincastle, they're doing Norfolk, they're doing Richmond. So we had a Hollins intern, Rachel Edwards, and she actually did a lot of the research and wrote the storyline for the Fincastle documentary. So in the summer, film crew actually came to the museum. They did interviews with Rachel, with Bo Trumbo, with Patsy Dickerson, different people to talk about the history of Fincastle, the fire, and we are hoping that's going to debut very soon. It was actually scheduled for January 2025, but the editing is taking a little longer. So be on the lookout, because we will definitely be announcing when that's going to premiere. Next month in March, we have an event called Remembering the Botetourt Resolutions. So March will mark the 250th anniversary of the writing of the Botetourt Resolutions. For anyone that may not know, the Resolutions was a document written in support of armed resistance against Britain as sort of tensions were growing with Britain and the colonies in the lead up to what would become the Revolutionary War. So Botetourt sent in such a document. They wrote the Botetourt Resolutions. So on March 14th, we're going to have a nice big event at Kyle House to celebrate that. For anyone that would like to attend, we'd love to have you come out, and it's going to be a real nice time. At the January Board of Supervisors meeting, it was also declared that March 9th through the 14th will be Botetourt Resolutions Week to celebrate that as well. Again, our lecture series is coming back. In March, we have the Director of Public Relations with Western Virginia Water Authority. She's going to talk about the history of Carvin's Cove and the German POWs that worked there in the mid to late 1940s. We've partnered with Twin River Outfitters. We are going to do a tour by water in May, and we're going to take a group down the James River and point out different historic spots along the James. We hope to do more of these in the future as well. Paint Fincastle is coming back in the summer, so watch for that. We'll be announcing more as we get a little closer. We are gearing up for 2026. And so the Virginia Museum of History has an exhibit called Give Me Liberty, which is, like I said, leading up to Patrick Henry's call to action before the Revolutionary War. And so a traveling exhibit called Give Me Liberty will be coming to the museum here in Botetourt in July. Other organizations are also gearing up for the 250th. Virginia Tech has reached out to us and asked if we would partner with them on Bike VA 76 project is what they're calling it. And that is dealing with Bike Route 76, part of which runs through Botetourt County. They are looking to produce a series of podcasts and lectures and doing other activities in the lead up to 2026. And I did write a letter of support for that, as they are pursuing grant funding for that project. So we're looking forward to working with them in the future. I didn't even get to cover all the things that we did or are doing. We are working on Founders Day 2025. The Haunted History Tour is coming back. There's just so much. Please follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Here's contact information for anyone that has any questions. Thank you all.
You did great, right? I think she was a little nervous. Okay, we are in the home stretch, friends. We are going to invite you to fall in love with tourism. I see Landon Howard. He's up there. He is the president of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. And I'm going to welcome my friends Deborah Wright. So Deborah is the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing, and Cheryl Morales is the Director of Community Relations. And we had the privilege of collaborating on Destination Botetourt last year, but they're just going to kind of tell you a little bit about tourism and kind of what VBR does and maybe what it might not do. So I think this is always a great education for everyone. So welcome to the stage.
Thank you. And we greatly appreciate you having us here today. I'd be remiss in not thanking Gary LaRue, who serves on our board and our executive committee and the Board of Supervisors at Botetourt for all of your financial and support that you have given us. We're at the end of the day, but it's kind of interesting because I kind of feel like what we do taps into a lot of what we've already heard from with these speakers. So kind of jumping right into that. So our organization is the Regional Destination Marketing Organization. So our goal is we develop, we market, and we manage the consumer brand. So in looking at that, the consumer brand and the place marketing is really the first date to economic development, right? So if somebody comes here for a visit, that's going to be what they're going to do first before they would ever come here to potentially live, to work, and then potentially even bring a business here. So this is kind of key. You're going to hear more about this in the coming year on how we are going to be more strategic and intentional about the tourists that we are bringing in to ultimately help with that economic development, that talent acquisition, and tie into, again, a lot of the things that you've heard today with broadband in Botetourt, those remote workers, and how we can keep our children here, through the technology and the education that we're doing. Okay, so what we look at is, we really are part of economic development, so much so that our, regional approach has elevated what we're able to bring back into the region and to the county. So looking at this, you can see, we kind of base a lot of things on 2019, right? And you see that dip during COVID because we were dramatically impacted with that. But I'm proud to be up here today and say that we have exceeded those numbers with $882 million in direct spending. Again, this is for the region, and over $1.3 billion that have come back into our region with that direct spending. So what does that mean for Botetourt County? Well, let me tell you, visitors too have fallen in love with Botetourt County. This shows you the overall number, and we've broken that out into the different lodging, food and beverage, retail, recreation, and transportation for direct spending over $60 million in Botetourt County alone, which brought $3.1 million in tax revenues back to Botetourt County. Looking at the funding that Botetourt County gives us that we are so grateful for, that's a 13-to-1 return on investment when you look at that. And really, this is helping offset dollars that residents, including myself, as a resident of Botetourt County, are paying back into the system. So we look at this as, let's bring visitors in to help offset the quality of life for the residents in Botetourt County. Okay, so marketing, how are we doing this? Again, we are a regional organization. We kind of look at our organization as downtown Roanoke as a hub, and we're about an hour radius, but we focus on our funding jurisdictions, which are Botetourt County, Franklin County, Roanoke City, and Salem, and then all the partners within it. So we tout this area as a Metro Mountain destination, right? Because we have everything that a large destination has or a large city might have on a smaller scale, but we have that. But we are fortunate enough to be surrounded by the beautiful mountains and all the outdoor recreation and amenities and our business and our people, everything that we've talked about this morning. So in looking at this, I kind of put it in a pyramid, showing some of the things that we are highlighting here. This is what makes that destination. And I always like to point out that, we are a marketing organization and our partners are our product. So again, we are kind of a conduit to kind of get visitors out into our different partner locations. So looking at what we have done, everything that we do is based on research. We have a company or a software program that we're using. It's called Zartico. So what that pulls in is our Google Analytics information. It pulls in STAR or Smithville Travel Research, which is our hotel information, key data, which is all the Airbnbs and Vrbo information. We have geolocation from phones and credit card information for credit card spend. So we pull all that information together. And from that, we know that Northern Virginia is one of our top markets. And they spend a lot of the money. So again, we're trying to increase that market share as well as get them to spend more money. That is shortly then followed by Richmond, multiple communities in Virginia and North Carolina as our key markets. So Nova campaign. I think maybe, hopefully, if you've traveled in that area, you may have even seen some of this. This was a campaign in 2024 focusing on metro stations, buses, Amtrak station, Uber and Lyft cars, and then of course your digital opportunities through Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then your streaming TV. So I'll quickly just show a couple examples of Botetourt County that was out there. Again, when I said we were in these metro stations, we had a takeover is what they call it. So you can see different images up high, down low, on the floor. This is an example of Uber and Lyft. It's through Carvatize. So we had cars that were swarming areas during events, as well as these were cars that people could take. And then when they got in the car, they would get a little card of information with a QR code that they could scan to come into the area. Social media is huge, whether that is just optimized or whether we're paying for that. You can see with our social engagements in 2024, we had over 6.3 million engagements. Again, people who liked, commented, or shared our information. And these are some examples that we have for Botetourt. And again, there's so many examples, but we're just going through this really quickly. Calendar of events is our second most visited page on our website. This is huge. I know we have a lot of information working with Tiffany and you all on getting that information out. That's on our calendar events. We highlight seasonal events, and then we do different blog content, romantic getaways for Valentine's Day, things like that. Holidays that we can highlight the different events. And for Botetourt County, look, you added a QR code. This is wonderful. So on our website, we get over 1.8 million unique visitors a year, okay? That's 5,200 people, new people coming to our website every single day. Again, we're the portal for our partners. And so much so that's throughout our website, but I just want to make sure everyone is aware that we do have a page that's specifically for Botetourt and Botetourt partners. Okay, so that information's on there. Cheryl's going to talk a little bit about how you can take advantage of that if you're not already. Public relations, that's headed up by Catherine Lucas, and Grace Needham is her coordinator. Again, I don't think people realize when they see the articles out there in Southern Living, in Garden and Gun, in the Washington Post, that takes a lot of time of a relationship, months and years of relationship. So it's kind of what we call it as planting seeds along the way. And with that, some examples of it are Paddling Magazine with James River and highlighting that. We also had Backpack Magazine. This was kind of fun talking about the Appalachian Trail, but then tying that into Three Little Pigs. Best Western, again, this was a digital publication or digital story about Roaring Run was highlighted in there. And then even focusing on our sports end of things with Victor and Dean, who's in the room that we work with, highlighting Botetourt Sports Complex and bringing in those sports groups. So lots of different things, whether that's TV, if it's online, or an actual print publication. So we bring writers in. We had 183 people that we brought in and an additional 183 that we sent out pitches to them for a result of 351 actual articles. And of those 117, Botetourt County was included in that. So we're really proud of that number. Meeting and conventions, I'm going to touch on real quickly. We're trying to bring in meetings as well. We have the leisure traveler, and then we have meeting groups. So, we're focusing on medical association, especially that are in the state, outdoor. So, we provide incentive. We will provide money for groups to come in. We provide the services. And so I bring this up too here is if you are part of a local organization that you think would be good for us to host here, please let us know, because oftentimes if we can have that tie-in and we can actually get them here to visit, we can actually bring that group in. And it's great economic development, so much so that last year we hosted 46 meetings for direct spending of over $10 million that came in. Sports is big business. What we do, yes, we bring in the ball and the bat and the courts and all that fun stuff, but we really do focus on that non-traditional sport. And when I say that, I'm talking about like canoeing, kayaking, archery, fishing, trail running, and cycling, of course, is a big thing. So we're reaching out to these people. Last year. We hosted 59 groups for direct spending, no multiplier in this, over $18 million. So again, it's a big part of what we do. These are some events that are going to be coming up in this fiscal year. The ones that are highlighted in red are actually taking place, or Botetourt County is partnering with that. One of our big events that we have, if you haven't heard yet, is the USA Cycling Endurance and Marathon Mountain Bike. So many of you all know that we had them here for amateur roads. This is the same group, but now they are basically declaring us as mountain biking destination, which is what we've wanted to tout all along. So we're so excited to get this. It'll happen in July of 25, and we have secured it for 26 as well. It's a 6-day event. It will happen at Carvin's Cove. It'll happen at Explore, and then Elmwood Park, which is going to be kind of fun. It'll be an obstacle course, basically, so people can come out and spectate that. So we're excited about it. If you all watched the Olympics, we did really well in mountain biking for men's and women's. Those people will be here. So it will be a full range of people, 1,600 people here for 6 days with an estimated direct spending of 2.2 just for that event. And I couldn't go without talking about Virginia's Blue Ridge now 2028 for the Olympics 2028, which is in LA. So Nicola Cramner we are still sponsoring that along with the state. And Botetourt is their training ground. So they love it. They love the roads here. We've got such beautiful roads and difficulty, right? Going up to the Parkway on 43. So that is huge for us, and she loves being here. So again, think about ways that we can tie into that group, and we can work with our residents. Okay, I am moving on to Cheryl Morales, and she's going to talk a little bit about how you can get involved. Thank you.
Yes, I am Cheryl Morales. I am the Director of Community Relations. I have been with Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge for about 1.5 years now, and I have just fallen in love with Botetourt County from the minute I got here and got to meet a lot of our partners and add new partners too. So before I do get onto that slide, Kristen Flack, she's been with our company now for 1 year. She's our Community Relations and Events Manager. In Botetourt County, we have 179 partners. Partners are those that are restaurant owners, retail, events, even like Parks and Rec helping us, with our sports events and such. So we have 179. I've been able to meet almost all of them. And again, fell in love each time I was able to drive around and go to each of the facilities and find out what they're doing, who they are, and how it all ties into VBR as well as to the community. We put on a partnership summit each year regionally. This gives the opportunity for attractions and our lodging, as well as people with events, to get together and network and collaborate and meet each other. So people from Botetourt are meeting people from Franklin County. And we held one last year. We also held just for Botetourt County, the Destination Botetourt County Small Business Tourism Summit. And Tiffany and I worked very hard on that and had a great time. It was very benefit for our tourism people. I was involved in the Buchanan area business gathering for Botetourt Recreation Economic for Rural Communities. That's a mouthful, right? But again, I was able to meet a lot of our Buchanan friends there. And I started a regional group for VA 250 because it gave the opportunity for people in our region to get together and again network and collaborate together so that people from Franklin County knew what was going on in Botetourt County. And it also helped with getting small groups together in helping to promote, for example, the Route 76 trail that is happening right now. Also, we're going to be doing a National Restaurant Week that is a collaboration of the whole region. And because of my experience that I've had in my prior position, I ran a restaurant week for 10 years. So the committee asked if I would come and help them get that together to get the initial details that are needed before it reaches out. But look for more information about that. That's coming up this May. We have set a date for our next partnership summit, and that's going to be March 27th at the Holiday in Tanglewood. Again, this is a regional summit. It is a free registration opportunity for you to come. You can learn at a pre-workshop how to work our extranet. We'll have some training opportunities there. And then during the summit itself, we're going to have Dan Roberts from Virginia Tourism Corporation talk about strategies and statistics that are from all of Virginia, how we fell in with those analytics as well. And also Mike Stewart from the Roanoke Blacksburg Regional Airport will be there to talk about all the good things that are happening with them. And we're also having Amber Godfrey from Amtrak Virginia. She's going to be there to talk about the grant that the city of Roanoke has and about their marketing that they're going to be doing for Virginia. So I hope you can come. And then real quick, some free opportunities for our partners. You have in a packet a new regional menu guide, free listing for our restaurants that are in here, and the opportunity to do advertising as well. Same with our visitor guide, free listings for that, and with the Virginia Tourism Guide. We mentioned about our website. Partners have a free opportunity to have a listing on their website. And right here, you can see Mountain Time, Honey and Gifts listing. This is an opportunity. I remember over 5,000 people come to our website a day. So you want to make sure you have your information on there as well as your events. If we don't know about your events, then we don't have it on our website. And that is the most popular page that is gone to for visitors. So you want to make sure you have that. Another opportunity is coupons. We have a savings pass for our visitors who visit. And we have a Cheers Trail. So your wineries and breweries are part of that promotion and marketing, free. We also run a visitor center. We had over 10,000 people visit our center last year with 32 countries represented. So that to me tells a lot that this region is not just for within the United States, but people outside our United States are really interested in us. They want to know about us. So we give out these visitor guides that I mentioned that you have a free listing in. And we give them out to AAA offices and other visitor centers, as well as when we represent outside booths at events and festivals. And we saw over 4,000 people there. So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate all of our partners out there. Take care.
Thank you, Cheryl and Deborah, as well as the others. Woo woo, right, Victor? Woo woo. Okay, yeah, we need to play off of that just a little bit. So this is a living operation. Okay, new things happen all of the time, and we've got stuff that's happening in and out and around and about, and I've been sitting over here responding to quite a bit of that today. So one of the things outside of being in love with Botetourt and even after hearing more about the things that's going on, I don't know how you could end up leaving today without truly being in love with Botetourt, right? However, I'm going to give you one other reason to be in love with Botetourt. I just got a text message, and at dinner last night, we had a prospect in, and it's on a normal basis. We would end up having a prospect visit and do things of that sort. Well, this group last night, we ended up hosting a dinner for them. And around part of the dinner, there was a debate. These are out of state guests that we had in. And there was there was a debate about whether it's Bojangles or Popeyes. I mean, that was the debate about chicken. Okay, KFC didn't hit the target, but those two did. Out of state folks, and We had there, they did just a little micro poll at the table that I happened to be at. I did not participate. However, had a couple people say Bojangles, Bojangles, and almost everyone else said Popeyes. Well, as it would end up being, you know, we have a Bojangles, but I just got the text message is that the Popeyes building permit has been issued. So now we have both for this company if they choose to land here, and so it will be wonderful for everyone. So, you know, you never know what's going to end up taking place. So for the ones that's not been following, that will be at the Shoney's, old Shoney's restaurant site. They've been tearing that down for a while, but I just thought that I would share that with you since I got the information. So amazing things are happening in Botetourt. Have tremendous amount of hope for 25. There's just a lot of stuff happening that we will come back and celebrate next year. I feel certain that that will just blow things out of the water. And so we're really anticipating a lot of good things. One of the things that's associated with that are our employees. Our employees are second to none. Steve made mention about being able to hire and to retain and things of that sort. I actually had notes out of the audience and out of people that were watching, literally saying, oh my gosh, this employee who made presentation, we had 3 here, I think, this morning, I think. It would have been Victor and Nicole and Ken. And I actually had a note, somebody sent me a note and said, man, they are doing great stuff. And it was very encouraging to me, but behind them and beside them, there are equal partners that are doing great stuff. This place is covered up with people that are doing great stuff, and we're supporting those, and it is a blessing to be associated with those people and with the things that are taking place here. It does not happen by accident. It is absolutely strategic. It is absolutely hard work, solving problems and doing things differently than other localities, to be honest with you, in a lot of the way that we end up approaching things. So that's one thing to talk about and being proud of those. However, this past year, back on October the 1st, we ended up losing one of our team members. It was very devastating to the team. It was exceptionally devastating. And today, you know, David Mormon says that I do things, everything that I do, there is a reason to do it. Okay, there's a reason why I pull into the parking spot the way I do. It's so I can get out quick. It's I mean, literally, it's things like that. Today is Tony Zarilla's birthday. And so we wanted today to celebrate what Tony brought to this county as being an employee and a finance director. And he passed away after a short illness. And I'm looking toward Pat, his wife, and Cameron, his son, and Courtney couldn't be here. But we dedicate this morning, this celebration of things that we have done and accomplishments of which he was a major component to all of that, to Tony this morning. And just God bless you. And we grieve with you and have been for a long time. So thank you for that. And thank you for being here and also the love that was associated. Tiffany, it couldn't have been actually said any better about the name of, or the theme of this morning. Falling in love with BoCo is something that was absolutely encouraging for everyone here, I hope. And also appreciate David Austin and the Parkway players for that. Guarantee it's going to get a lot of play in Botetourt, okay? And especially if Tiffany has her wishes about it, about customizing that to special events and activities and all kinds of things. We certainly do appreciate Tiffany and her innovative leadership and how all of that happens. Now, you know, falling in love, we had already fallen in love with Tony. Everyone was influenced by Tony. And he was with us for 23 years as the finance director and was a wonderful man, someone that I could ask a direct question to, and I never got a direct answer. He was a wonderful fella. He knew his stuff. It was incredible that we always had the information necessary to be able to move forward with, and just a great human being to work with. And Tony loved his family. He would talk about his family all the time, but he also loved his work family. And if he wasn't at home, he was working. I don't know that he was a golfer or anything of that sort. I think he may have mowed his lawn every once in a while. There's an inside joke to that, but we're not going to go there. But Tony was very dedicated to his job. Saturdays, Sundays, after hours, he was always making sure that we had the information as necessary. And it's just a blessing. I know it's a loss, but doggone it. Thank you, God, for letting us have him. Right. So, as I've mentioned, tremendous amount of hope for 25, great report for 24 from my standpoint. Obviously, I work for 5 wonderful individuals, and also by that work for 34,000 citizens and the shareholders of this community. And it is a pride and privilege of me to be able to do that. The future is bright, okay? The future is bright, and I feel certain that we will be realizing some of that in the near future. That's okay. So with that, I want to thank you for being here, for sticking it out. I know we're just a little bit long, but I want to thank you for that and for all of your inputs. All of the things that you do in the community that end up helping this community to grow, prosper, and move forward is invaluable. And so we certainly do think that. We thank you for your time in the busy morning. It sounded like there for a minute that we were having more liquid sunshine outside. Hopefully it is drying up a little bit and that you can get out of here without getting soaked. And so that would be good. And hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and that you have truly fallen in love with Botetourt. Thank you. One other thing while you're getting ready to go, I'm sorry, I missed this, is that maybe you have questions, okay? And if you do, we're happy